going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this spring flower doily. But you can also use these as placemats. So if you want to do it in Christmas colors or something like that and have them underneath the plates for dinner, this would also look very nice. So I did this first in one color, and I thought, you know, I could change every row and really make that flower pop. And so I made it with different colors, and I made it with scrap yarn. So this would be a really great scrap yarn project if you wanted to get rid of some stuff. So this was made with just worst weight acrylic yarn, which is 10 ply for Australia and 4 ply for the US. And it's the same thing with this one. And this is my hand here in the middle. It's pretty big. It's about this, a little bit bigger than a plate. So if you wanted to add an extra ruffle on the outside to make it stand out or be bigger, you could, or use a bigger size hook. With this one, I used a 5mm hook or a size H hook for the US. But like I said, feel free to change the hook size if you want. Now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and do it in just one color. I'm not sure if white will show up so well. Let me see if I can find something else. Wait, I think I'm going to use this thicker yarn that I have here. So I'm not going to be changing colors as I go, but I can let you know if you wanted to make it like this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my 5mm hook and my yarn. I'm going to back up just a bit. And we're going to start with the center of the flower. Now we're going to be doing a lot of triple crochet clusters in this, and everything else is basic double crochet, chain, slip stitch, things like that. So the only real big stitch in this one is the triple crochet cluster, and I'll be showing you how to do that. So to start, you want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'll slip stitch in this beginning chain, and I'm using this bottom chain, the bottom loop of the chain. Slip stitch to form a ring. Now for round 1, you want to chain 2, and then you'll be working in this ring. You'll double crochet 11 in this ring, and I'm going to be working over my tail as I go, and that beginning chain 2 will count as the first double crochet of the round. So do your 11 double crochets, and when you get done and you count it all up, including the chain, you'll have 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 12 stitches total. So when you have your 12 stitches done, you'll be slip stitching in the beginning top of the chain 2. And that's the center of your flower. Now we're going to be starting to make the petals. So if you want to make your petals a different color, simply get your next color, and you'll be just exchanging out your color of your yarn. I wish I had another color here. Here, I can show you with this. When you want to change colors, all you have to do is grab the next color that you want, and then just pull it through your loop, and then pull the loop down, and see how it tightens it? And then you can just pull this tighter, and then there you go. You'll be starting with your next color. But for this tutorial, I'm only going to be sticking with one color. throughout the whole thing. So grab the color you want for your petals and we can get started. So you want to chain 3. This is round 2. So for round 2, chain 3. And you want to skip 1 stitch, and then you'll be slip stitching into the next. So skip a stitch, and then in the next stitch, going under both loops of the stitch, you'll be slip stitching. And then you'll repeat this 5 more times. Chain 3, skip a stitch, slip stitch in the next. Chain 3, skip a stitch, slip stitch in the next. And at the end, you should have 6 little chain 3 spaces. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. And now in this beginning stitch where we started, our first chain is where we're going to end by slip stitching into that same stitch. Now we're going to be working our petals in these chain 3 spaces. So for round 3, so stick with the same color of your petals. So you want to chain 1, and you're going to slip stitch into this first chain 3 space that will bring you right on the top of it. And then you want to work a, see, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you'll be working a triple crochet cluster. Now this first cluster that you make will only have 5 loops, but the rest of them will have 6 loops. So to do the very first one is going to be like all of them, except you're just going to have 6 loops at the end instead of 5 loops at the end instead of 6. So you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook into this chain 3 space, pull up a loop, and now you're going to pull through 2 loops at a time. So yarn over and pull through 2 of them, then yarn over and pull through 2, leaving that last loop on the hook. And you're going to do that again, yarn over twice, go into that chain 3 space, pull up a loop, then you'll yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you'll do that again. You want to do it until you have 5 stitches here. So yarn over twice and do your next, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now you have 4, so you want to do one more time. You have 5 loops on your hook. Only for this first one, you'll yarn over and you'll pull through all 5 loops. Sorry, my nose is running today. Okay, once you pull through all 5 loops, you want to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to go over to the next chain 3 space, and you'll make your next cluster. So yarn over twice, go into that next chain 3 space, pull through 2, pull through 2. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Okay, then yarn over twice, go into that same chain 3, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over twice, go into that stitch, pull up a loop, then you'll yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. You want to do that until you have 5 triple crochets in this place. Now I only have 4 in this place, in this stitch. This chain 3. Okay, so now we have our 5, and you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have 6 loops on your hook. Now you want to yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. And that'll give you your second petal. And then you'll be repeating that all the way around. You'll be chaining 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you'll yarn over twice, 1, 2, and then find your next chain 3 space, and then begin your next cluster. And you'll be doing that all the way around, and you should have 6 petals just like this. And I'll keep doing it, and then when I get back up here and I'm ready to do my connection, then I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, I got my 6 petals done, and now I need to make my final chain in the round. So since we're going to be slip stitching in the last, in the beginning, at the top of the beginning cluster, the slip stitch itself will count as a chain. So because of this, we're only going to be chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after the last petal of the round, and then we're going to slip stitch in the top of the cluster, which will count as our 6th chain. And that completes round 3. Okay, so for round 4, again, if you want to change your color here, which I did to green to kind of make it look like leaves, then feel free to do that. You're going to be slip stitching in this first chain 6 space. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to work a triple crochet cluster here. So just like you were doing before, you're going to do your 5 clusters, incomplete clusters. But the first cluster of the round again will only have 5 loops at the end of it. Okay, I have my 5 clusters here. The chain will count as a cluster. 5 loops on my hook for this beginning one. Pull through all 5 loops. Then you'll want to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll be working in the same chain 6 space. And you're going to work another cluster here. So yarn over twice, go into that same chain 6 space, and start your next cluster. In this one, you will have 6 loops when you're done. So each of this chain 6 spaces from the previous round will have 2 petals worked in them. So I got my 5 incomplete clusters here, 6 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops. And that's your first set of 2. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, then you want to chain 6. This is going to be a repeat now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to chain 6, and then you're going to work the same thing you did here. You're going to work 1 triple crochet cluster, chain 6, 1 triple crochet cluster, all worked in this 1 chain 6 space. So continue to do that, and after you do your 2 clusters in 1 space, you'll chain 6, you'll move over to your next chain 6 space, and you will work 2 clusters in this one. So continue this all the way around, and I'll see you when you get up to the end here. Okay, I just finished my last petal here. You should have 12 petals, and as before, instead of chaining 6 here, you only want to chain 5 before you do your slip stitch, because your slip stitch counts as a chain. So 3, 4, and 5. Find that beginning cluster and slip stitch to complete round 4. Now, so far you're up to this green. Now for the next I just did another kind of green. So if you want to change colors here again, feel free. And this round is very simple. For round 5, you're just going to be repeating round 4. You're going to be putting 2 in each chain 6 space, and at the end of the round you'll have 24 petals. So let's get back to the beginning. Okay, for round 5, again you'll be slip stitching in that first chain 6 space, chain 3, and then start your first triple crochet cluster. And remember, the first cluster of the round will always have 5 loops instead of 6. Just want to get there we go. You have 4 triple crochets here, and then the chain, which counts as your 5. So yarn through all 5 loops, and then you'll chain 6, 5, 6. Just want to make sure it's 6. Yes. And then again, you will put another triple crochet cluster in the same chain 6 space. Whoops, I forgot to yarn over twice. Just putting my second cluster. So that's 4. It's my last one here. 5. Okay, so I got my 5 clusters, 6 loops on the hook, pull through all 6 loops, then you will chain 6 again. And then now you'll move over to your next chain 6 space. And as you can see, there's 2 here, 2 here, and then from here there'll be 2. As you can see here, there's 2 worked here, 2 worked here, and then in between here there's also every chain 6 space all the way around. Put 2 triple crochet clusters in it, and then when you get done you'll have 24 petals. Okay, I'm back. I have my 24, and if it feels like it's bunching up a little, just flatten it out like this and it should lay flat. Now we're using the same technique for the end. You're only going to be chaining 5, 3 instead of 6, because we're going to slip stitch in the beginning cluster, and that slip stitch will count as a chain. So that's it for round 5, which is this light green here. So the next one is just going to be 1 cluster worked in between the chain 6. So every chain 6 we're only going to be putting 1 cluster in all the way around, and I did it with white, so feel free to choose whatever color that you want. And this is going to be the last cluster round, because the next is going to be just double crochets. So also we're going to only be chaining 5 in between each cluster instead of 6. So let's get started. So for round 6, it's going to begin like all the other rounds. You're going to slip stitch in that first chain 6 space, and then chain 3. Then you're going to work your first cluster in your chain 6 space. Five loops on the hook, pull through all 5 loops. Now for this round you're going to only be chaining 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to move over to the next chain 6 space, and start your next cluster. It's my third triple crochet. It's 4. And there is my 5th. 6 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 6 loops. And again, only chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then move over to your next chain space. And you're just going to continue doing that, 1 cluster in each chain 6 space with a chain 5 in between. Continue that all the way around. And at the end of this round, you will still have 24 petals all the way around. Okay, we just reached the end of round 6. And since we were doing chains of 5 this round, we're going to do a chain of 4 at the end and slip stitch into the beginning stitch to complete the chain 5 there in that space. Now for round 7, let's back up a bit. This is the last row. I used the color that I used for the green just to bring all the colors together. But use any color that you like, but point is use another color here if you were trying to make something like this one. So for this last round, round 7, you want to chain 2, which counts as your first double crochet, and then in the same stitch, which is the top of the cluster, you want to do a double crochet. Then you're going to move over here to your chain 5 space, and you're going to work 3 double crochets inside this chain 5 space. And then you're going to work in your cluster again, which is here. Looks like there's 2 stitches. Always use the one closest to you. And you're going to work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Then you'll repeat, working in the next chain 5 space. In all chain 5 spaces for round 7, you'll be putting 3 double crochets in it. And then for every cluster, you'll be putting 2 double crochets in it. And you'll be repeating this for the whole round, and you'll slip stitch in the top of your chain 2 to end the round. And at the end of this round, you should have 120 stitches. And that is it. Let me move this out of the way. That is how you make, you can call it a plate, mat, or a doily, or anything that you need something to lay down, so that, to make something pretty, to have some kind of border around it. This would work great under a lamp or, a vase. So it's up to you. So this is how you make the spring flower doily or placemat. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and share this video. Please go to check all the sites underneath the description in this video. You can find me on Facebook, Google, Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest. So take a look there and feel free to join me wherever you are. So thank you so much for watching.